Today's message from Reverend Christian Sorensen was recorded December 11th, 2016, and it's titled Beyond Articulation, subtitled, If you want to see what only a few see, you gotta go where only a few go. And today, we welcome the spirit and voices of our special guest artists, Gary Lynn Floyd and Jami Lula. Today's notable quotes, love and compassion are necessities. There is no spot where God is not. Come visit us at seasidecenter.org, and you can join us in Encinitas, California sometime, where we always have great music, a spirited message, and a joyful, loving community that await you.
Good morning, Seaside. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. It is my honor, as it is every Sunday, to introduce our guest artists. And today we have not only one, but two fantastic individuals, spirits, artists, and they've both been here independently, and we just love that they are here together. They are doing a lot of this duo situation, and they also have a CD out that is all duo things with the two of them. So they have that with them as well as their individual projects, and I'm really excited that they're going to share with us a brand new song that was actually decided to be the official song for Centers for Spiritual Living Tour 2017. So they're going to be sharing that with us today, and they're going to be debuting it officially for the large conference in February. So we're just so grateful that they're here, and they're just wonderful, wonderful human beings. And please help me welcome, I got to make sure I say this right, Floyd Lula.
That's Gary Lynn Floyd.
That's Jami Lula.
And his partner, Danny Miller, is not Jami Lula. He looks a lot like me. He's like
They're
my brother. This is a song that we wrote the day of Reverend Nirvana Reginald Gale's memorial. And it was very synchronistic, and he was absolutely in the room. So come back and at least say hi to us after service. We've got special deals with CDs in it. It's going to help us pay for this recording that we're doing of this song. But I'm deeply honored to work with this man because he's one of the finest singers and songwriters on the planet that I know. And I'm really grateful, honored. And he's really hot.
Whatever. Play the song.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflow in us, and decorate this place. As it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all is one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best until we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. This is where y'all sing. In the name of love. In the name of love. Come on, y'all. In the name of love. In the name of love. words are simple. In the name of love. In the name of love. Come on, grab hands, sing it with us now. In the name of love. 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 Let's break it down. In the name of love. In the name of love. Come on, y'all, get on up. Come on. In the name of love. In the name of love. Oh, yeah. In the name of love. 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 Let's take it home. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love. Big ending, y'all. In the name of love.
All right. Woo. That's Jami Lula and Gary Lynn Floyd, In the Name of Love. My goodness, I can just feel Nirvana here. That song was so beautiful. You guys wrote that. I mean, he was one of our brothers. It's like, man, our age, too young to go. And most of us know Nirvana. He has graced this stage probably more than any other minister other than the regulars. And flamboyant, oh my goodness, that guy makes me look quiet. And, you know, and the way he dressed with his dusters, people used to come up and say, Christian, you know he dresses better than your wife, Cal. You know, his shoes, it was like Joseph's robe of many colors, man. That was Nirvana for sure. Miss him dearly. You know, he was feeling, he was essence. And really, that's what this message is about this morning. It's a beyond articulation. It's beyond being able to describe something. And the something I'm referring to today is spirit. You know, it's that presence. It is God. It is that life force. And the heart and soul of mysticism is the experience of that presence. Mysticism is not this intellectual trip so you can articulate what God is, but rather it is the experience of the presence. And so a lot of times people come through our doors because they're looking for a healing in their life, you know, and they're looking to be able to shift something. And I can teach you. In the foundation class in January, we can teach you how to create greater wealth, better health, companionship, to shift your world. But that's not what leads to the experience of God. Those are basic ways and you can create. And just because you are a masterful manifester doesn't mean you're able to experience the kingdom of heaven or the presence of God. But I will tell you, if you're able to have that experience of that spirit, that's something that's beyond words, indescribable or ineffable, as Dr. Christine said 6 or 7 times, you do get those other things. Because spirit like backfills. As your life is filled with spirit, there is no otherness. But I want us also to understand you can't take, heaven by storm. You can't force the mystical experience. Okay, I will now be godlike. It doesn't work like that. You can't make spirit show up in your life, but you can begin to surrender to it. You can dance in the dimensions between my self-awareness, my self-attitude, and surrendering. Surrendering to that life flow, to the mystical, to the spirit, to the music, to the inspiration. I'm willing to surrender, and just maybe I will be enticed into that heavenly kingdom, that spot where spirit in its infinite expression is touching down in ways that are relevant and real for me. All of a sudden, I become that transparency. I begin to merge with the whole. I become that place where the light and the love and the spirit has its way as my very life. But only as you begin to step out in your world and become open to it that you begin to have the shift. John Muir, great naturalist, a guy liked to go outside and not come back for months on end. And so this line makes sense with what he said. He said, when I go out for a walk, I conclude to stay out until sunset. And then I realize that going out is really going in. I'm out there in nature with the trees or with the beach, and you feel something that you can't really articulate. I mean, it's beyond words, but it's real. It's palpable. It is a presence. It is a life force. It is an essence. It is the first cause. It is the very essence of who I am. And yet you try to describe it and it's real, and yet there's not really words. I mean, have you ever walked through your spring garden? And you have these fragrances, and it's magical. It's like, the peach blossoms are blooming, the lavender is growing. I've got my white gingers that if you ever had a ginger lei or the pakaki, the smell, the fragrance is just, wow, otherworldly. And then I try to tell you about what it smells like. It's, what words do I have? I mean, if you've had the experience, you might go, yeah, I get what a pakaki lei is like. Woo. But when you're in the garden, you have that fragrance, the experience. But you cannot find real words so people can really get what it is you got. Well, when we enter into that place, the spiritual connectedness, that place that is truly beyond words, beyond articulation, beyond description, there's a magic, there's a wonder. And I'll tell you, when you're walking in that divine garden of connectedness, that dance with the absolute spirit where you are that emanation, there's no photo ops, Yeah, it's not, okay, guys, here's a picture of me with God. It doesn't happen like that. There's no journaling either, because remember, you're beyond words. There's a fragrance that lingers, and you come back into this world, and it's like, okay, there aren't even words for that. I'm trying, but I'm more pointing here this morning. I'm seeing heads go. I see others, man, what's he talking about? But what happens is there's this lingering fragrance of healing, this residue within your life that is just wonderful, that just has you walking in this world with a greater sense of it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. It just is. When you go to that mystical place, it's like you think, oh, it's so good, I'm going to come back and be all healed. And then you get back, and it's like the issues are still there. And really, if I thought about it, I would have chose, a miracle of my choice over this God experience, because I'm done with this. But all of a sudden what happens is these issues in your life, something has shifted in you, and they're not that monumental anymore. You begin to understand life from a larger place. It begins to bring with it a deeper revelation and insight and understanding. And the fragrance of the divine garden lingers with you, and you walk in this world, and all of a sudden you come from a place of compassion and love, and there's a little bit more caring that you want to bring to your world. And you're looking. That's the thing. All of a sudden, what's happened, you may not got the miracle of choice, but what you did get is to be able to see, your spirit sees, you feel that, it's with you always. And so you find ways to share that. There was a gentleman, Jason Haney, and his 3-year-old daughter went into children's hospital, didn't know if she was going to survive, very ill, his heart went out, and she did. And actually last year she entered in college, so she's been healthy for a long time, is just fine. But what was interesting, last winter, Jason's a foreman of a construction company, and they had a project right next to the children's hospital. So he wanted to do something nice for the kids because he had a good experience. So he got one of those blow up snowmen or snow women, that snow being. I don't know what's politically correct these days, but anyway, you tether it down to the ground. But something inside of him, or talking to a friend, said, let's do something better than just tying something in one place. Remember they used to have Where's Waldo? You look in these pictures. Well, he decided he was going to create a life-size cutout in plywood of Waldo. And what he started doing was every day he would take this Waldo and he would hide it, behind this building and just his head sticking out. Or he would put it in the window. And all of a sudden the kids in the children's hospital, every day they were excited to get up to see if they could find Where's Waldo on this construction site. And all of a sudden there was a website and a Facebook page, and people were tagging Waldo. And so people started getting hints where you could find Waldo today. Look behind the plywood pile in the corner. And it became the talk, and the kids in the hospital and the families in the hospital looked forward to getting up every day to see if they could find Waldo. That's like, how do you come up with that? But when you become that place for the divine download and love and compassion is showing up, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, said that love and compassion are necessities. They're not luxuries. They're necessities. And without that, humanity would not survive. Yeah, you know that, huh? Well, love and compassion are necessities. And so when you connect to a spirit, the life force, God, and you can get beyond that place of needing to describe it and just get like God is. That's it, God is. And you can stop there. But what happens is the brain or the intelligence wants to know what God is. No, you just stop. God is. It's a life force. It's the first breath, first cause, it's all intelligence. But no, just stop. God is. There's something inside of me, I would guess maybe that God is. You don't need to describe where God is, what God is, how God is, and anything about it. If you can just come to the realization that God is, and I'm going to step into that place, and I'm going to be that expression of that, the highest level. And when I can get really high with that level, then I can become the revealer of the Christ. And when I talk about the Christ, I'm not talking about the man, Jesus. I'm not talking about a person, the Christ. What we talk about is a state of consciousness the guy exemplified. We call it the Christ consciousness. What I want to do is be a revealer of the Christ consciousness, and that comes from a connection with the Spirit where there is no otherness. It's just Spirit is moving right through me, and it's in that second where I'm absolutely one with that which is ineffable, cannot articulate it. It is beyond words. If I can just spend a second there, anything unlike it falls away. It just falls away. There cannot be the infinite and something else. If I can just go to God for God and be in that presence of God, but I've got to stop my mind that wants to control and describe it. My mind that says, this is what it looks like. No, it just is. See, the mystical is able to be okay with that. And this concept isn't new, even though we call it new thought. We call it new thought, ancient wisdom. There's nothing new about it. One from the Middle Ages, a mystic, 14th century, unknown mystic, wrote a book called Cloud of Unknowing, classic in the Christian mystical realm. But the thing he wrote about is spirit is discernment. It's not knowledge. Yeah, you got that? The spirit is discernible, but it is not knowledge. And as soon as I begin to try to think it's this, how it is, where it is, what it is, all those things, I'm stuck in the brain, I'm stuck in the mind. And as I started this morning, the heart and soul of mysticism is the experience. It's not the brain, it is the experience of that presence. And so what he talked about is if you can get to a place of unknowing, right? Not being like an idiot or, you don't know anything. It means just resting without having to describe the experience, the unknowing, that there is nothing. And so I am now available with that beginner's mind to be that place where the presence is unfolding its expression in a way that is grand and glorious and powerful and good and right. I try to do that with my new book. I don't know if you guys saw it coming in. My new book's finally out. It's very excited about it. Some of you know I did a class this spring, and I gave out an advanced copy to everyone. So today or this week, the book came out. It is available for the first time ever. Great stocking stuffers. But I want to read to you from the very first page about the mystical experience, which is why I'm trying to describe that which you can't describe. But I'm going to try to do it anyway, since the whole book starts with this. And it says, the mystical experience can bring a joyous surge and thrills and electrifying waves of light and pulsating and tingling and elation and jubilation through the body. Trembling with intensity, the mystical can lift you by the rapture of the fire in your spine, so hot that you can't even tell if it's cold outside your skin. It's as if Alice in Wonderland is growing large or shrinking small. There's a heightening of your senses and smells. They become acute, and your ability to hear becomes extraordinary, and one might say even otherworldly, and the music of the cosmos and the celestial choirs and the hum of the divine and the wisdom of the ages fills your soul all the time, and that it takes to blink an eye. You want me to keep going? Or Yeah, okay, one more paragraph. So you can feel the full spectrum of the shapes. You can know the history of the things that you touch. Your emotions can terrify you in moments of elation like this. Beyond description of anguish, there's delight and sorrow to enhancement. Past patterns of remorse and guilt can be blown out of proportion and then instantly dissolved like a sugar cube in a glass of water. You might experience the uncontrollable movements like shaking and trembling as the energy centers of your body begin to vibrate and pulsate, and with an amazing new higher frequency, and your body may experience an opening of the flow of life through your spine, removing any and all the blockages and bringing up all sorts of images and emotions. And it goes on and on and on, but I'll stop with that one. It's like, how do you describe the indescribable? You know, how do you begin to step into that place? And I want to point out these out-of-body kind of experiences is not what it's about. It's not about having an out-of-body experience. I want to have an in-body experience in this world. I want to be able to bring my expression into this world in which I walk, and I'm able to express myself. And what I know about the mystics is they always assume no matter what's going on in their life, it's a favorable kind of thing. It is moving them to a greater place. And so we are living in this multidimensional expression in life where, one, we may be having what I would call the storyline, where there could be the challenges or the difficulties or the breakups or the financial issues or hurt or pain or, whatever that storyline is. And the other dimension of it is you've got the glory line. You got your storyline, and you got the glory line that realizes all these are moving me to a better place. They're moving me to a place that is helping me to move to the realization, the presence of God right in the midst, because there is no spot where God is not. There is no place where this infinite potential is not seeking to express itself, and you get to be the conduit for it. You're that movement, you're that vibration. And when things don't seem to be working, you don't have to get complaining. What you got to do is get looking and realize that grace doesn't try to fix anything, but it affirms the presence of God right there in that midst. Yeah, it sure does. Ron Anderson. He lives in Kentucky. It was before the holidays. He went to the local convenience store and wanted to buy 3 $1 lottery tickets for stocking stuffers. He got there, he ordered the 3, and the clerk gave him a ticket with 3 on it. And he said, I didn't want a ticket with 3. I wanted 3 $1 ones. And he said, okay, you want me to cancel this? He said, no, I'll just keep it. He got the 3 $1 ones, stuck them in the stockings. After the lottery came up, he looked at it, and he just won the largest lottery in Kentucky's history of $129 million. Just want you to know that a challenging, difficult situation, if you can keep it in a high place, could be worth $129 million to you. Just saying, It's what are you going to do with it? See, the secret of mysticism is to know that the breath of the divine is moving in, and that whatever is going on in your life, you got to realize that our journey through life, we don't usually make it through scot-free. It's not as if we don't have some challenges along the way in our life. It's what we do with it that decides the quality of our life. It is right. I'm telling you so. It's as if I just want us to get that we create more with our mind than we do with our hands. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, if you want to see more, if you want to see what only a few see, you got to go where only few go. And that is into that mystical realm right where you are. You don't have to go off to the Himalayas. Beach helps, but we're there. But like when we were in Costa Rica, you take the road and it ends. It's like it's over, end of the road. There's a dirt road after it, but most people stop there. But being that we drive around there quite a bit, we just keep going. And that's where it gets good, right? Where it says end of the road, you keep going. That's where you get the jungles. That's where you get the rivers. That's where you get the waterfalls. That's where you get the macaws. That's where you get the howler monkeys. I mean, that's the thing in life. We got to keep going sometimes. And so the secret the mystics know is that the grace of God is always present and ever available. And that breath of the divine will pass the logical lobes of our thinking with a direct touch. And that direct touch that I'm speaking of, a breath of God, of grace, is it's like it comes without interpretation. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. That's what's operating without the logical lobes, is that we get this breath of the grace that comes without interpretation. It comes with the full impress. It comes with the revelation. It comes with the full song. It comes with the book intact. It comes with it all. But you are the one who's got to be in the place to be able to receive that and not question, oh, this is no good. I'm no good. You know how it feels? That's who I am, just, oh man, I just don't have it. You know what? You got it differently than somebody else. And that's okay. But you're the one who's got to be okay with it, because it is your mind that creates the quality of your life. You create more with your mind than your hands, I just said about 2 minutes ago. Yeah. You got to be okay. Even if others are saying, you're different. You came in here with who you are. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, there was this kid down in a poor village in Mexico. No water in his house. It was a rough spot. And he was a little different, odd. Kids teased him, harassed him. He was not well liked. He liked dogs. You know, he spent a lot of time with dogs. They actually made fun of him. They called him Perrero, like dog boy. You know, the perro is dog, Perrero is dog boy. And they called him dog boy. They teased him with dog boy. And when he was 21, he crossed the border down here illegally and came into San Diego. His dad gave him $100 to invest in his life. He crossed the border. You know, he was living in our parks, kind of panhandling. He'd help people out in the park with training their dogs, and they would respond. And there was a groomer that saw this. And so the groomer said, you know what, why don't you come work in my shop? He came and worked in his shop. There was one day this Cocker Spaniel that was just angry, and he calmed him down and just talked to him and just got better. And the shop owner was so impressed, he gave him the keys to the place, said, hey, make this your home, shower here, sleep here. I don't want you to get in any trouble because you're so valuable to us. He did that. He got himself on his feet. He moved to L.A., started working at a car wash, which I guess was a lot of hard work. I would think so myself, because I don't even like washing mine, let alone all yours. But the owner liked him so much, he gave him a van so he could go around doing mobile dog training with people. And he went around, and people just loved what he was doing. And this one person, Jada Pinkett, you know, the actress, she married actor Will Smith. That's it. She used him. She thought he was phenomenal, so he paid to get him tutored, to learn English, to become a legal citizen of the U.S. She told all her Hollywood star friends his business boomed. Then the National Geographic Channel gave him his own show, which then went on to be a phenomenal international success. He's now known worldwide as the Dog Whisperer. And Cesar Millan now is in 80 different countries. His 5 best-selling books, a line of dog products and dog retreats, and his generosity and his charity is just renowned. And all because there is something inside of him said, you know what, I am good enough. This is who I am. They may think I'm odd, but you know what? Spirit sent me here like this, and who I am is perfect. It's the expression of God, and this is what I'm going to honor in my life. And so I want to give you an important point when you're doing your prayers of what we call spiritual mind treatment, right? One goes to a medical doctor or practitioner for medical treatment. One goes to a spiritual practitioner for a spiritual, and we all operate in the realm of consciousness or mind treatment. And Ernest Holmes said, never treat a person or condition or a thing. Okay? You don't treat that. What treatment is about, so I can clarify it, is affirming the spiritual truth. That's what our prayers are. It's not trying to fix anything. It's just knowing the isness of God and knowing that spiritual truth. And as I move to that place, the spiritual truth, the only thing I can know the spiritual truth about is G-O-D. The only thing I can know the spiritual truth about is God. That's right. I can't know there's not a truth about this situation or that circumstance or anything like that. And its only truth is about God, and it expresses through the different places. It interprets itself, and it fills those places that are like the ebb. It backfills what is needed there. And so as I begin to do my spiritual work and realize that the only spiritual truth I can know is God, then I begin to listen. And prayer is more about listening. I begin to operate in that realm that is ineffable, that is beyond articulation, beyond description, where the fragrance of the divine garden fills all space and fills it with that which is necessary in the moment that I'm in, and it transcends the language. One time I was speaking, I'm sure I shared this story because I like it. But I was speaking over in Russia. I did a retreat over there for a week, and it was fun, except nobody spoke English. I mean, that's just not it. I would speak, and then it would be interpreted. And then I would speak, and I kind of move around a little bit if you haven't noticed. And I look around, here comes this little interpreter chasing after me on the stage, trying to say things in Russian. And then I would tell a joke, and nothing would happen. And then she would say something, and a minute or two later, people would be laughing. It was a very unique situation for sure. But I transcended my typical way of doing things, and it was beautiful. And this one young lady, kind of like Sandra in the back, she had a little 6-month-old like yours, and she came to me in this workshop through the interpreter and said, "Would you baptize my child?" I said, sure. And it was really hot. It was August in Russia, hot. It was actually an army barracks. I said, bring her down to the swimming pool. And I was like, I've seen them do this in movies. It looked fun. So they brought their little child down, and everybody, hundreds of people walked. And as I got in the pool and they handed me, I sprinkled water, and it was a beautiful thing. And I said something in English. They hadn't a clue, but they said something in Russian. I hadn't a clue. It was a good relationship. But it was so good that somebody said, "Would you baptize me?" And I said, "Sure, come on in." And dunked, and they liked it. And someone else jumped in, and then someone else jumped in, and by the time the afternoon was done, there was probably 100 of these baptisms of adults I did in a language I don't speak. I pour them under the water, pull out, and say, "Hey, what name shall you be given?" Or "Welcome to this world," or "How will your new expression be?" Or "What gifts and it was just a magical kind of experience that transcended language. And so when I left, I got up early in the morning. You guys might remember this part of the story, or not. But anyway, the plane leaves early. I like to leave early. I got up, crack of dawn, tried to sneak out before anybody else was around there, and the car picked me up. And like I said, it's the army barracks. So it's this long driveway down to who knows where, passing all the barracks. And everybody was out on their balcony waving. And it's like my heart just opened up, and the only words they was, "I love you." It's like, wow. And we got down to the gates, and they lost the keys. There it is, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get out of there quietly, and they lose the keys. And so they have to go, and they don't have a vehicle, so they have to walk back to wherever I just drove from. And I don't know what they're doing to find keys, or they're checking. But in the meantime, everybody in the barracks are coming down to me, and they're just loving me and saying all sorts of things. I can remember this one young girl. She looked at me in the eyes, and all she could say is, "I love you." I'm like, oh man, down the tears flow from my face. And what she did is she took her hands and she wiped the tears off my cheeks and placed it on her heart. I got to tell you, you don't need words to have that kind of experience. The heart and soul of mysticism is beyond words, beyond articulation. There's a fragrance from that divine place that you hang out that lingers with you, that assists you, but you got to be willing to go there. See, let our prayers be not speaking so much. We think our prayers, if I could speak the right words, really prayer, if you want to know the truth, it's listening. It is listening. It is listening to that presence, that intelligence, that wisdom, that life force, and just recognizing that spirit is. It is infinite. That means right where I am, I can be the isness, the divine expressing in my world, and any of those spots that need healing naturally fill themselves when I bring my awareness to the presence, not because I'm going to God to get something fixed, or not because I'm going to God to get some cash like a ATM, not because I'm going to God for a relationship, but just because I am sitting in the isness, the presence, that healing happens. And sometimes I get it's hard to go into that place of connecting with spirit when your back is aching, your body's hurting, your soul is. That's when you go to a spiritual practitioner who are able to look at you and their back doesn't hurt and their soul's not aching and they have taught out in the art of prayer and they just sit there and there's a vibration in the field that invites you to say, "Hey, God is here, step into this." And I'm listening. I am listening to that which doesn't have words, but it has power. It's an essence. It's a transformative power that allows you to walk this world with your head up, knowing who you are is a gift for us all. So in this season of joy and love and gift giving, be that gift for us all to love. God bless you. Love you. Hello, this is Christian, and if you've been enjoying Joyous podcasts, I encourage you to support us so we can continue to be here. Your gifts is what allows this to continue to be made available for free for everyone. It now goes to more than 55 countries around the world, and it's because you have taken advantage of the opportunity to go to Joyous Podcasts and make a financial contribution. And because of that, you have made a difference. Your gifts make it possible for us to continue sharing this freely. Share this with your friends and have them go to joyouspodcast.com. Joyous blessings to you.
Such a long way home from where you have been. And what will it take to bring you back again? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Can you hear the sound, the whisper in your soul that calls you back to where you belong? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Behold the love. Behold the light in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here.
All Are Welcome Here, from the album Path of Light, was co-written by Peggy Lebo and Reverend Christian Sorensen. It's available at www.peggylebo.com.